we'll read the introduction of this practical and simple video, and then we'll watch the first 5 minutes when he starts to explain what starts explaining what is this habit that we have of overthinking and how unhealthy it is for our lives. Okay, so who wants to start? Let's read this introduction so we have a brief explanation, or we can see what the video is about. Kari, do you want to start reading the introduction?
Yes, Eckhart Tolle addresses the inner voice, the constant stream of negative self-talk that many people experience daily. This inner dialogue not only fuels stress and unhappiness, but can also impact mental and physical well-being.
Okay, let's stop here. He says he's talking about the inner voice, but is this inner voice that that we have like two inner voices, because sometimes we refer to the inner voice, but we refer to intuition as the inner voice. But this is another inner voice that is very beautiful. But he's referring to the inner voice too as the voice in our head. That's why it is not intuition in this case, is self-talk. This talk that we hear, and it is always this voice that is talking to us and saying and interpreting things or judging things. And he says this inner dialogue not only fuels stress.
What is fuels?
Yes, what is to fuel? You know that this is one of the many, many words in English that can be used as a verb or as a noun. What is fuel as a noun?
Oil.
Yes, combustible. Yes, the oil is a synonym. That's when with you, Kari, we have individual classes with Kari, and we were talking about the conflict in Middle East, and the war in Middle East.
But in this case, fuel stress means something more like como machacar, dar alimento, así sería.
No. Here is used as a verb, to fuel. And you know that, well, at first I will finish with what I was saying about fuel as a noun, that it is, in some cases, is a synonym of oil. Vieron que oil también quiere decir, it has two meanings. It may be aceite, like when we prepare a salad and we put oil and salt and the dressing of the salad. And oil also means petróleo or combustible. And fuel, in this case, is a synonym of oil. And this is what we need, what cars and vehicles need to work, to function. But to fuel, when we use it as a verb, it's a synonym of to feed, maybe. Alimentar. Fuel and happiness, stress. He's referring to this voice in our head, to the inner dialogue, that's why he said not only fuel stress and unhappiness, but can also impact mental and physical well-being. In this case, cuando funciona como un verbo, como en este caso, tiene ese significado de to feed, que sería, ¿qué es feed in
Alimentar.
English?
Comi
Alimentar, yes. And feed, and in the case of feed, the verb and the noun are a bit different because feed is the verb. And what is the noun of feed related to feed?
Food.
Food. Huh? Yes.
Mhm.
It's a bit, it's not the same word, but they are connected. Food is the noun and feed is the verb. Que sería alimento o comida. Y to feed es alimentar.
Famoso fast food.
Very good. Fast food. Very good. To feed, alimentar. Bueno, very good. Okay. So he's referring to this inner voice. And then what he does, why the video is so useful? Because he explains. Jose, do you want to go on?
Yes. Where Edgar, ahí.
Eckhart
Edgar
explains.
explains how most individuals unconsciously identify with their thoughts, believing that the voices in their head is who they are.
Yes. Here, there is a crucial word that is unconsciously. He explains how most individuals unconsciously identified, and remember this, that is a word that for us is we forget and we pronounce identify, but is identify. In this case, the E
Yes.
is an I, with their thoughts, believing that the voice in their head is who they are. We believe that the thoughts that we have that comes to our mind, we identify with them and we believe that they are what we, this is who we are, and it is not. And what the last sentence says, Vivi, do you want to read?
Yes. But by bringing awareness to this voice and this disentifying from it, we create space for inner space and true presence to emerge.
Emerge. By, you know that we talk about identifying. And what is the opposite of identify? Disidentifying.
Okay.
So, disidentifying. Say it
Disidentify.
again.
In Spanish,
Desidentificarse.
Desidentificarse sería. Desidentificarse.
eso sería.
Claro, ves que acá él habla
Yes.
primero que dice cómo la mayoría de los individuos se identifican inconscientemente, because we are
Yes.
not aware of it. No nos damos cuenta de cómo nos identificamos con esa voz en la cabeza. Por eso, that's why he uses the word unconsciously. Es algo, it's an unconscious mechanism that we have. And
Yes.
so then he used another word. What is the opposite of this unconscious identification? When we bring awareness, what is to bring awareness to this voice? Bringing awareness, what is this?
Awareness is
Consciousness.
Yes, awareness,
Consciousness.
when we
Understand or be
Or-
conscious that voice.
Yes, when we and another word that the spiritual teachers or the masters use when they talk about this process of this moment of what is to, if we are aware, to be aware of our thoughts, we have to be, instead of identifying unconsciously with them, how can we get out of this habit? If
Detach.
we, yes, and if we become the observers, or
Present.
the witness, the
we are present.
witnesses. Yes, vieron que por eso ellos usan tanto esa palabra. To observe your thoughts, sit and observe your thoughts, they say. Or become, or witness your thought. Vieron que witness in English es también, es una palabra that you can use it as a verb or as a noun. What is the witness? The lawyers
Witness.
that are here.
Testify. The people who testify.
Very good.
Sounds
It's a
fast.
legal word also. The witness is, when it is a noun, is the synonym of observer. El testigo sería el observador. Y también esta witness se puede usar como verbo. You say to witness something. You can be you can witness your thoughts.
Recognize
You can
too,
witness
no?
an accident. You can witness, or when it is used.
Cari, recognize is.
Yes, recognize. First, yes, first you observe and then you recognize. Very good. And the observer is the noun is a bit, it's in the same case as feed and food. The verb is a bit different. We say observer as a noun. And what is the verb? To observe.
To observe.
To observe. Without the R, the final R. Okay. So let's start and see the first 5 minutes of this simple and practical video, and then we'll comment and go on with reading the transcription and commenting, discussing this beautiful video. Okay, let's start.
But what has happened through the gradual evolution of thinking is that now humans tend to overthink. There is a lot of not only unnecessary thinking that generates unnecessary and in many cases non-existent problems, such as when you lie awake at night in bed and start worrying. It generates a lot of unnecessary unhappiness. So people don't realize that a significant part of the unhappiness in their lives is actually generated by unnecessary, negative, often destructive mind activity, and they don't even know it. Mindfulness is first of all discovering the simple fact that there is a voice in your head that continuously comments on your life or on what's happening around you. It's the self-talk in there. Everybody knows what the self-talk is in there. You talk to yourself. Sometimes you talk to yourself in the first person, I. Some people talk to themselves in the second person, you. So you can get annoyed with yourself, and then you say, you shouldn't have done that. And then you have another thought that says, yes, but I couldn't help it. And you might even get a third voice come in, and whatever it says, why can't I get out of my self-talk? That's self-talk too. But it's an amazing first thing, what I call the first awakening, spiritual awakening, is something very basic and something very simple. It's the discovery that there is a voice in your head that always talks to you, mostly silently. If it talks out aloud, then you're continuously, and there's nobody around, then you are considered insane. And that's only if it's loud, but most people have that inside their heads, and they are not considered insane, it is considered normal. But there's not such a big difference between the two. And sometimes when you listen to them, there might be a man walking in the street muttering, oh, why this fucking, and you say, oh, he's really insane. But it might be that you are doing the same, but it's just not out aloud, it's in your head. I should have said that. Why didn't I say that? Next time he does that, I'm not exactly know what I'm going to reply. And it goes on and on. Or you lie awake at night and start worrying. You wake up and, oh my God, what's going to happen? What if that doesn't work? And if that goes wrong? And what if he does that? And then you go into it. You get drawn, one thought leads to another thought and another thought. Oh my God. And then the body cannot distinguish between an actual reality, an event that's happening in the real life, and what your mind is saying. So when you have fearful thoughts, the body reacts to every fearful thought, and that's an emotion. The body reacts with an emotion, the emotion you feel in your body. The body cannot distinguish between an actual event and a thought. So when you think fearful thoughts, the emotions you feel are the emotions that are saying, I am in danger. There is an actual danger here. So you feel the emotion of fear, anxiety. You feel agitated. And it's not only not pleasant, if you indulge in that kind of useless, dysfunctional, destructive thinking year after year after year, it has its effect on the body, and it decreases the ability of the body to have the energy to fight disease. Even mainstream medicine is discovering the connection between your state of mind and your state of health. And so gradually we are seeing, in the past they denied it completely. They only looked at your body, and not only at didn't just look at the totality of the body, even within the body, they just looked at one particular symptom, what's wrong with that particular organ. And you have, of course, in mainstream medicine, you have specialists. I'm a specialist for the liver, a specialist for this and that. Not only not taking into account the totality of the body, but more importantly, not taking into account the totality of the person, which includes the physical body and the mind. So it's vitally important.
Okay. Here we have, up to here, so far, we have plenty of material to talk about. It's very simple, but it's something we realize that it's something that we take for granted, and it is not normal.
Yeah.
And he explains it in a very amusing way. This process or this habit that we have of to tend to overthink. Do you feel identified with this? It is something that you have experienced or that you experience, this overthinking. And yes, and what is useful for of this? What is that we don't realize? He uses some words here when he talks about that now humans tend to overthink. Then I remember that I watched another video of him that he said that's why you know that many of the masters now talk about that now it's time to transcend thought. That thought has had its function, but now thought has been has become the master of our lives. And the mind has taken control of our life. And that's why, for instance, Mooji has another way of saying this, that he says that, or many of them talk about that we have to come back to our natural state or to our original state. And he describes this saying, we have to make the mind sit in the heart again. That the mind is like, has a lot of power, and it is not something natural. Eckhart Tolle describes it in a very amusing way when he says that we are so used to have what he says when he makes the distinction about the inner voice and someone who talks alone in the street. Do you remember when he says, he makes the comparison and he says that someone who walks in the street and talks to himself is considered what?
Look like insane.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Normal.
because yesterday I crossed one of these individuals who used to talk every day in the street, and he looked like he speak with another person with your phone, mobile phone, but he use only a headphone, and he is very insane. Yes, he's really insane. So
Yes.
for that I
Yes.
love, but it's true that I speak with my psychology about rumiar like a cow.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Because no, it's a noun is more mirando este video it's like now is more I love more myself because me río de mí mismo ahora, ¿no? Dándome cuenta.
You laugh at yourself. Yes.
Yes.
And he says that when there is a part at the first part when the examples that he gives to make us realize how unnecessary and how we overthink, how much we overthink, is very practical when he says that we talk to ourselves and sometimes we refers to us as I, and
Yes.
sometimes as you. We talk to ourselves sometimes in the first person and say, well, I have to do this or that. And sometimes we behave to ourselves as you, and you say, you, Cari, what you have done?
Ask
You
and
shouldn't
response.
have done this.
Like,
And
Riquelme speak in third person. Riquelme
Riquelme? Yes.
the soccer player,
Yes, no.
the president of Boca, Riquelme, no, that me and
claro
you,
que algunos
Riquelme like
hablan de sí
another
mismos,
person.
¿vieron? In
Yes.
third person, como they are not that person.
Identify.
Ricardo, yes. And I like the dialogue that when he says, well, then we are going to see it in the transcription, that he says, well, one as you refer to yourself as you. So you say, why do you do like, or why do you behave like this with that person? Or why do you react? And you answer yourself. And you say, well, I couldn't help it. What is to this expression? If you, I can't help it. This is an idiom in English. Oh, I can't help it. I can help it, because help, it has a completely different meaning from when we say what is to help. To help someone else, or this word help can be used also as a noun or as a verb. And the most usual meaning is, well, can you help me, for example, or let me
Assist.
help you, for example, or I need your help. O sea, el significado más usual que tiene es ayuda o ayudar. But when you say it in this phrase, oh, sorry, I can't help it, or I couldn't help it, es no lo pude evitar, quiere decir. That's why he says, why you react like this, for example? Oh, sorry, I couldn't help it. ¿Por qué reaccionaste así? Ay, disculpa, no lo pude evitar. I couldn't help it, yeah, or can is in present, or couldn't in past. We can say I couldn't help it.
No me quedó otra, no es lo mismo. Como no me quedó otra.
Ah, no lo pude evitar, es como que fue
Mm,
algo más fuerte que vos, o sea,
mm,
discúlpame, o sea, lo decimos muchas veces cuando nos damos cuenta que we reacted
mm.
when we use the unconscious behavior. That's why he laughs, because when we say this, we are manifesting, or there is an evidence that is something unconscious. When they say, I couldn't help it. Cuando decimos no lo pude evitar, ahí nos damos cuenta que es algo, esas reacciones son totalmente inconscientes. O sea, no, ¿por qué no? Vieron que a veces, qué sé yo, when you get angry or get annoyed with someone else, and it is an immediate reaction. It's something that comes from nowhere and makes you act in a way that then you regret. O sea, uno después se arrepiente de eso y dice, pero ¿por qué reaccioné así? ¿Cómo? But at the first, we have this impression or this feeling that we couldn't help it. When we begin to observe, we begin to be aware that we can manage our emotions, and we can be more in control of ourselves. But for this, first, it has to, we can, that's why then he talks about this, that he says, Where is it? Well, we can when he talks about that this act of becoming the observer, he says, it's amazing. It's like the first awakening. Es como el primer despertar espiritual que tenemos. When we become aware that we are taken over by our thoughts, and we can be the observers. If we are the observers, we are not the thoughts. This is the first spiritual awakening. Okay. And he says it's something very basic and something very simple, but it's very important. Okay. We can start by reading the transcription so we see a bit of the vocabulary today. From here, here he starts. Pablito, do you want to start reading?
Okay. What has happened through the gradual evolution of thinking is that now humans tend to overthink. There is a lot of not only unnecessary thinking that generates unnecessary, and in many cases, non-existent problems such as when you lie awake at night in bed and start worrying.
Okay, let's stop here because there are some useful things to see. One is he uses the word that now humans tend to overthink. And you know that I always talk about how useful are some prefixes or suffixes in English. And a suffix, a prefix that is very usual in English is this suffix, over, that is used in many words: overwork, overeat, overreact. And what this prefix means: over.
A lot.
Too much.
Many
Very
times.
good. Yes. And there are some words that are very, here I put them, that are very usual. The prefix. Over means too much. Como sería, en español sería demasiado. Cuando algo, and that's why it says, it means excessively, more than necessary, or too much. So, for example, for them it's very common to say to overeat. Overeat, in Spanish we say, well, comí demasiado. You know, cuando decimos, oh, comí un montón. They use the word to overeat. For example, what are the examples? Jose, do you want to read?
Yes. If you overeat, you may feel sick. He tends to overeat when he is stressed.
Stressed, yes.
Stressed. We overeat because the food was delicious.
We overate here because
We overeat.
Yes, it is an irregular verb. So the present is eat and the past is ate. And this is something that is usual sometimes. We overeat when the food is delicious. Viste que decimos, uy, comí un montón anoche, pero estaba tan rico. In English, we say it like this. And this is something, the first example, when you, that says, if you overeat, you may feel sick. Sick in English has also kind of two meanings that are very similar, but it can mean not also. Sick is a synonym of to be ill. What is to be ill? estar enfermo.
Enfermo.
But in this case, means when ill ya es como, cuando vos decís estaba enfermo, es como una, es more serious. But also they use it in a sense to see, to mean descompuesto. ¿Vieron cuando
Iba a decir, sí.
en español decimos, bueno, eso, esa es the difference between sick and ill, que uno lo puede usar como sinónimo de enfermo, pero no pasa lo mismo con ill, porque ill sí significa enfermo, de que tenés una enfermedad that may be serious, or not, but enfermo. Pero sick lo usan también para decir no me sentía bien, ¿viste? Cuando decís, no sé, estaba descompuesto. So, in this case is used like this. If you overeat, you may feel sick. Viste que al otro día estás pesado, no te sentís bien, or more than this, you have to take something because you overate the previous day. This is one of the very usual words when they use over. And another common word is to oversleep. What is to oversleep?
Dormí demasiado, ¿no?
¿Y cómo decimos in Spanish? When we say, I overslept this morning and missed the bus, for example. ¿Cómo decimos en español?
Quedé dormido.
Me
quedé
quedé
dormido.
dormido.
Ah, quedé dormido, claro.
Yes. And this is another very usual
Yes.
excuse. She
Usaba la
overslept
alarma.
Sometimes.
because her alarm didn't ring. Oh, I
Por
don't
culpa de
know
la
what
alarma, no
happened.
por...
Didn't ring. She overslept.
The alarm didn't ring. ¿Viste cuando decimos, no sonó el despertador? No sé qué pasó. Is that we blame the alarm. ¿Vieron que le echamos la culpa a la alarma que no sonó? Well. Oh,
Alan Ring Folk.
yes. Oh,
Sometimes the Alan Ring song.
another phrase that they have that is very, and we have it also in Spanish, when you know that you have a meeting, for example, the other day, the following day, and we know that is someone who tends to blame the alarm.
I'm going to send you, Karina, don't oversleep tomorrow. You have to guide.
Yes, you have to guide the meditation. For example, eso vieron que también es muy usual cuando uno le dice al doctor, mira, no te vas a quedar dormido mañana. Bueno, they say it like, you can say it like this in English. Don't oversleep tomorrow, please. You have to guide the meditation. Okay. And sleep is also a verb that is irregular. So in present, you say oversleep, and in past, you say overslept. Okay. I overslept. Esto es very usual when we say, for example, oh, sorry, I'm late, I overslept. ¿Viste? Cuando queremos decir en inglés, me quedé dormido, we say, oh, sorry, I overslept. Me quedé dormido. Okay. And the third one is also very usual in these times, that what is to overwork. Overwork. And it is the cause of stress in these modern times. Many people overwork and become stressed. And they use it a lot as an adjective. In this way, she was overworked and exhausted. To be overworked is when you are too tired because you work too much. lo usan mucho como adjetivo ellos. De
Mhm.
cuando, when you are very, very tired. It's a useful expression, de working too much or extremely tired from work. Oh, you can say, for example, someone is inviting you to go out and you say, oh, sorry. Instead of saying, I am too tired, I am overworked. If you are tired because you work too much, you have a lot of work during the day, you can say, oh, sorry, I would love to go out with you tonight, but I'm very overworked. Estoy re cansada porque trabajé un montón. They say, I overworked. Okay. Well, my friends.
Mhm.
So it's almost time today, but I want to and what we are and I would like the last thing I would like to about this that is a reminder of how you know that one of these characteristics of word formation in English is the prefix and the suffixes and the use of a lot of gerunds in English. They use a lot this ending, the ing ending. That's why he says, for example, well, and this of forming the adjectives with two words and a hyphen, non-existent problems. Para ellos por ahí es más usual formar así los adjetivos que decir inexistent. They say non-existent problems, such as when you lie awake at night in bed and start worrying. Nosotros en español usamos más el infinitivo que el gerundio. Visto que, por ejemplo, en español diríamos cuando te despertás a la noche y te empezás a preocupar, viste que and they say start worrying. Ellos usan más el gerundio que el infinitivo, que sería la terminación ando, yendo, nuestra, y lo usan con muchos verbos. Por eso es como más usual, una característica, digamos, del inglés es esa, que usan mucho, mucho el gerundio, no solo to form the present continuous, but with a function of noun and of adjective. For example, you can say, I have some worrying thoughts. Tengo muchos pensamientos preocupantes, sería. Worrying thoughts, ahí es un adjetivo. O you start worrying. Con algunos verbos usan más esta forma que yo les puse, que son un montón de verbos, pero para que vean,
Start
digamos,
worrying sería como decía, pensar mal así, ¿no?
no, y te empezás a preocupar, you start
Preocupar,
worrying,
bueno.
because, claro, to worry about something es preocuparse por algo, pero la forma que ellos tienen de decirlo es usando el gerundio. Dicen start worrying. Por ejemplo, yo acá le puse varios ejemplos de por qué, porque vieron que cuando uno empieza a prestar atención a cómo hablan en inglés, descubre esto, por ejemplo, que hay muchas palabras con ing, pero que esa ing puede tener muchísimos significados. Puede ser un adjetivo, puede ser un verbo o puede ser un sustantivo. Por eso, porque ellos lo usan muchísimo, con varias funciones. En el caso, por ahí lo
Ah,
usan con, como después de ciertos verbos. Que nosotros, ya les digo, en español usamos el infinitivo, ellos usan el gerundio. Por ejemplo, con enjoy. I enjoy reading. I like, con like. I like dancing. Visto que por eso nosotros, los hablantes de español, cuando empezamos a aprender, tendemos a usar el infinitivo en lugar del gerundio. Decimos, I like to go to the park, for example. Or I like to go for a walk. And the most usual expression in English is to say, I like going to the park. I like dancing. I like reading before I go to bed. Or I like watching, or I like listening to music, for example. No, I like to listen to music. Y esa estructura la usan con un montón de verbos, ¿eh? Con enjoy, con like, con love, con hate, con prefer, con start, to keep. Este es otro verbo que es muy usual en inglés, keep, que dice keep
Keep
practicing.
going, keep practicing, keep
Yes,
something.
keep means is a synonym of continue. When you, or they also use go on, go on practicing, keep on, keep on doing it, keep on meditating during, early in the morning. With finish and avoid, también. Usan mucho, por eso ahí ven por qué se ve tanto la ing form in English.
I thinking
Tam-
about the song of Michael Jackson. The name is "Keep the Faith."
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes, this song is it would be our part of our a future class. Next, our next topic on Saturday will be you know that that's why songs sometimes are so useful to learn and practice the language, and because they have a like a double function. You can take advantage of the deep meaning of the song and also the vocabulary, the how the words and verbs and everything is are used in English. Okay, my friends. So, this there are a lot of. I will send this file to you. Then another with other verbs that are very usual in English and for everyday language. The verb to stop, for example, stop shouting, stop doing this, stop or suggest. He suggested going earlier. He recommend when you use the word the verb recommend. I recommend watching this movie. It is also and mind. That here is not the verb mind. When it's used as a verb mind, is completely different from the mind de mente. Do you mind helping me? Es como me ayudas, es una, or to mind about something is if you care about something. Si algo te importa o no. Do you mind helping me?
Never
Viste,
mind.
en español sería, che, ¿te importa ayudarme? No, no, no es así, pero it's a polite way of saying,
Polite.
por favor, could you help me? ¿Me ayudas? Do you mind helping me? But if you use the verb mind, you have to use the the gerund. Okay, my friends. Today, to finish, we are going. Esta mano que se me sube sola.
Todo el día con la mano levantada.
Yes,
Por eso
we
hablo
are
ella,
going.
claro.
Yes. A kind of self-talk. Okay.
We the
Well,
students were very worried because the teacher, you had to raise hand. What happened with us?
please. Okay. Well, my friends, I chose a contemplation by Mooji that is called A Busy Mind. How to deal with a busy mind or something like this. What is a busy mind? It's another way of saying the same. When our mind talks too much, this is a busy mind.
Noise. Noisy
A busy
mind.
mind is what? How can you describe a mind with a
Overthink.
yes, with a lot of thoughts? That or
Working a lot.
you know that Eckhart Tolle in the video says that we have a lot of mind activity. Cuando we think, we overthink, we have a lot of mind activity. So let me find, yes, the contemplation is called advice for a busy mind. Okay. What is an advice in English or in Spanish? What is when someone gives you an advice?
Consejo.
Very good. So this contemplation, he is trying to give us an advice for a busy mind. When our mind is too busy, he asks us to pay attention to what? He talks about this voice in our head, and he says, pay attention to what this talk is about always. It's about personal things. Because the function of the mind is to distract us. This is the function of the mind. That's why he always said, don't fight the mind. Just let it be there, but don't pay attention to the mind. Because our immediate reaction when we start to meditate, we want to stop our thoughts. We want to stop thinking. And he says, no, don't fight with this, because the function of the mind is to think, is to distract you. ¿Para qué vienen esos pensamientos? Para distraernos, siempre. But when we start to observe what these thoughts are about, ¿de qué habla la mente cuando viene? ¿De qué nos hablan los pensamientos? De cosas personales siempre. ¿Qué? ¿Y qué? ¿Por qué? Y de algo que es importante para nosotros, porque si no, no nos vamos con los pensamientos. Entonces, what we have to do? We have to don't pay attention to your thoughts and remain in silence, because esa es la función de la mente. La mente nos quiere sacar del silencio, que es nuestro estado natural, y es there is our true happiness. Ahí es donde está nuestra verdadera felicidad. So, if you feel that you decide to sit and stay silent, if the mind comes, let it come, but try not to pay attention to the mind. Just focus on your heart. And the very instant that you remain silent and don't pay attention to the mind, you begin to enjoy this silence. So give this opportunity to yourself, not to engage with your mind, but try to remain in silence and just let your thoughts be there for some minutes. Decide this, try to choose this. Okay, let's begin with this. Let me check if, yes.
If you find that you're not able to turn away, so to speak, from the mind, the feeling of just dropping is very, very difficult, then do this. First, you may find out who is being attacked by the mind. If this already feels still noisy, then pay attention. What is the mind's message? What is it trying to say here? And then it will take you to the fact it's saying something. And is this impersonal, what it's saying, or personal? You can find this out. Then you'll see that it is quite personal. Then find out the status of the one who is personal, the one who feels under attack. One of these. Is it the body that feels attack? Is it the personal identity? Or is it consciousness, the sense I am that feels attacked? And you will see that it is a personal identity. The minute you see its personal identity, you know it's not true. And the next stage is to recognize this is not true. It's as though a thief is knocking on your door to say, please let me in to use your toilet or something like that. You say, no, thank you. Go away, and you turn away from him. Even if it feels it doesn't want to go away, you turn away from it. And you'll find that there's power in that. Turn away from that and don't go anymore. Even if it's knocking at your door, you don't open. Don't open simply mean don't engage. And bear the feeling. It may feel deeply uncomfortable. Again, if you look at who is uncomfortable, you will see again it is the person. The person is not true. It's a delusion. Turn away from it. Use this exercise. The more you practice this, the more it becomes easier, the more strength you have in resisting in the nicest way, in an intelligent way, to not grow the mind. Now, if and when you are feeling naturally empty, which you will do at times, don't pick up more activity. Go and render this silence, meaning sit by yourself quietly and honor your silence by just being one with it. Being one with it. It will be easier for you now. Even if mind is suggesting some activity, oh no, maybe it's time to do that, or there's some subtle restlessness or resistance to sit with this, ignore that. You'll be able to do that more easily. Just rest with the silence. The thought-free, formless silence consciousness. And honor it, love it. You can be grateful, say thank you, and without duality, just thank you attitude. Stay with this. And so you will get used to this beautiful exercise, deepening in awareness itself. So, very good. Follow this advice now. Thank you.
I was muted. By this practice, you can experience how unhealthy is this habit that we have of being thinking all the time or paying attention to our thoughts. And we have the proof here of what Eckhart Tolle says, that he says that this inner voice, the voice in our head, is as unhealthy and as insane as as someone who talks in the streets alone. And you can experience the effects of silence in you. ¿Vieron qué hermoso que es cuando uno puede experimentar el silencio, nada más? Esa paz and what Mooji calls to rest in your own being. Descansar, descansar en nuestro propio ser. Descansar no es solo no mover nuestro cuerpo, es here. Don't pay attention to your mind. We need this because it's our essence to be in silence. This is the best thing we can do for ourselves. Be silent. Not only not to speak, be zero mind activity. So, thank you, because it has been a very beautiful class. This practice is as healthy as putting your feet on the grass and connecting with the energy of the universe. We have plenty of energy, but we have to use it in a beautiful way, because thinking is a way of wasting energy. No nos damos cuenta de eso. So, to recharge yourself, the only thing you have to do is being silent and enjoy your own presence, which is the presence of God. Your true self is this, or your true state. When you allow this presence to manifest in you, you are being yourself. Esa es la manera de ser nosotros mismos, cuando permitimos ese espacio para que Él se manifieste. Okay, my friends. Thank you. And with these talks and with these practices, we are on the way of being more ourselves, of reminding, of remembering what we truly are. Okay, my friend. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a
Bye-bye.
beautiful
Bye-bye.
weekend. Try
Bye.
to be in
Thank you.
silence, having more,
Thank you.
and enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.